Hi investors, in this video we are gonna have a look at the latest news on Idex stock, and also we are gonna have a look at the price targets that are given by the analyst on Idex stock. And guys, right off the bat, I wanted to show you that Idex is at the Bloomberg BNEF Summit as we speak. And after a lot of digging, really a lot of digging, there it is, I realized that you have to pay to attend it. And so what I'm going to do as soon as videos on this summit come out, I will make a video update on Idex, so stay tuned if you're interested in knowing the latest news on Idex stock. And now we're gonna move on to the latest news on Idex stock. They have recently done some restructuring inside the company. Let's have a look at the latest news. Ideanomics appoints Kristen Helsen Chief Revenue Officer. So what was the point of bringing a new Chief Revenue Officer? Well, there is a lot of detail that we need to dig into. We are excited to bring someone on board with experience at the intersection between automotive and energy that is essential to successful EV adoption. And so the idea is to have a synergy between automotive and energy, and this new person will be able to bring this kind of knowledge. And so this is actually great news for Idex stock. And I know what you're saying, the stock is tumbling today, but we are also looking at Idex from a long-term perspective, not simply from a day-to-day basis. If you do not agree with me, well, let me know in the comment section below. And while you are there, join my Patreon, which is the first link in the description below if you want my help, or if you want to learn how to invest in stocks, or simply if you want to support the channel. And very important for this stock are the institutional investors who actually believe in it. The institutional investors are those who actually move the price either up or down. So let's have a look at what the institutional investors have done in the last months. So these are the Ideanomics institutional ownership. And if you scroll down, we see that in Q1 of 2021, so not too long ago, just 2 weeks ago, they actually invested so much. Is one of the months, is one of the quarters they actually invested the most. And one of the biggest investors is M&T Bancorp with 9 million invested. And also we have important banks like Citigroup. And so overall, I think this stock is actually supported by institutional investors. It's really far from where it should be in terms of valuation, but I think that overall, institutional investors really love Idex stock. And also that gives us some more stability and potentially safety for the long run, just to know that all these banks have bought the stock. And now we're gonna look at the price targets for Idex from the analysts who actually do that for a living. And so we're gonna have a look at the Wall Street Journal, because they have one analyst saying that Idex is a buy. And so as you can see, one analyst, and the price target is $5. Not bad. Current price is $2.67. So we have almost 100% upside from now onwards, which is very bullish. But it's not only that. We are gonna have a look at also the market sentiment for this stock, because obviously these are analysts and they have their very narrow vision on a stock. Okay, do not destroy me in the comment section. I mean, do something, but do not destroy me. But on the other side, you have market sentiment, and so that's what we're gonna have a look now. And so this is tip ranks, and as you can see for Ideanomics, the market sentiment is very positive, which is very good actually from a top level perspective. And as you can see, I'm not paying for tip ranks, which is very good. I shouldn't. All these investors have been buying quite intensively, so this is actually good news for us small investors. And important for the analysis of the stock is to also understand a few numbers, for example price to book ratio and other things like that. And obviously that is on website like Simply Wall Street, which we're gonna have a look right now. And so this is Idex on Simply Wall Street, and if we scroll down, we see that the first thing that comes to light is the price to book ratio, which is 5%. Overall, not too bad. And then if we scroll down, we have a look at the debt, and the debt for Idex is quite substantial, I must admit. But overall, they say that in terms of financial health, they say that Idex is not in a bad position at all, both short-term and long-term. And that is based on Idex short-term assets and which exceeds short-term liabilities, and the same thing for short-terms and long-term liabilities. What I suggest is for you to have a look at Simply Wall Street yourself. You can view up to 5 companies and it's totally free. And in terms of debt to equity history, we see that even that, the debt to equity ratio, is considered satisfactory. As you can see, the equity has taken a massive jump compared to what it was a few months ago. So that's very good. And overall, the balance sheet is again not in a bad place because they have quite a lot of cash, but it depends on the way the CEO Halfpool manages the cash. He's got a way of dealing with cash. He likes to really squander quite a lot. So hopefully he will not do it this time. He buys quite a lot of companies. If you've been subscribed, you know that they've invested money in Energica, an Italian company, and then they invested money into another Italian company that they're actually, at the moment, it's more of a startup and they're looking to make EVs in Italy. And then they also invested in this company. It's a broker for metals, so it can be lithium, obviously, for EVs. So that's the way he thinks about Idex. I'm a super expert on Idex, so I know how things go. And like I said, as soon as news on this stock comes out, I will make a video update. And so this begs the question, is it a good time to buy Idex stock or not? Let's have a look at this chart. Right, as you can see, the chart said it's basically very simple. We are inside this wedge and we've been bouncing around. And as you can see, we are now at the bottom. And potentially we can go up all the way to $3 if it comes to that. Obviously, the market is overall quite weak in terms of penny stocks. It seems that the penny stocks have been bleeding instead, like more safer. Okay, that's not really correct to say, but safer investments seem to be getting most of the money now. And we're talking about bigger names. So that's something we're going to have to bear in mind. So looking at the chart, it seems that we are very close to have a breakout or a breakdown based on where the whole market is gonna go. Join my Patreon, which is the first link in the description below if you want my help, or if you want to learn how to invest in stocks, or simply if you want to support the channel. And so I think that Idex is a very good long-term investment that you have to keep at least for another 4 years, because at the moment they have a lot of companies and they're not profitable as yet. So if you buy, you decide to hold. That's what you have to do, even if the market is tanking, especially on Idex. And I want to be honest with you, if you want a safer stock, you should look at another one, for example, Palantir. The video on the screen right now are the latest news on Palantir stock, a stock backed by the US government. So click on the video.